Hello and welcome to a day in 15 minutes UPSC Prelims Daily Current Affairs by Ekam IAS. Today is 14th January 2020 and the topics for discussion are H9N2, GSAT 30 satellite, 8 wonders of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, high flash high speed diesel, then shopper malware, and finally Australian koalas. Now coming to the first topic of the day, which is H9N2. Now this is in news because Indian scientists have detected the country's first case of infection with a rare variant of the virus that actually causes avian influenza, which is also known as bird flu. Now coming and talking about this virus, which is H9N2. Now the H9N2 is actually a subtype of the influenza A virus, which causes human influenza as well as bird flu. Now the H9N2 subtype was actually isolated for the first time in Wisconsin, USA in 1966 from a flock of turkeys, turkey flocks. Now this H9N2 virus are found worldwide in wild birds and are endemic to poultry in many areas. Now a few things that you should know here is that the H9N2 virus could potentially play a major role in the emergence of the next influenza pandemic. And according to the World Health Organization, with avian influenza viruses circulating in poultry, there is a risk of sporadic infection and small clusters of human cases due to exposure to infected or contaminated environments. Now, the H9N2 virus infections in humans are relatively rare, but this is likely due to underreported cases due to the typically mild symptoms of this infection. Now, the human cases are exposed to the H9N2 virus through contact with infected poultry or contaminated environments. And the first case globally was, in Hong Kong in 1998. Now, the cases have also been observed in Hong Kong, China, Bangladesh, Pakistan, and Egypt. Now, recently the virus was detected in India during a community-based surveillance study in the villages of Kurku tribes in Melghar district of Maharashtra. Now coming to the next topic of the day, which is GSAT 30 satellite. Now this is in news because the Ariane rocket is to launch ISRO's GSAT satellite on 17th of January 2020. Now talking about the satellite, which is the GSAT 30. Now this satellite has a mission life of 15 years and this is an operational communication satellite for DTH television uplink and VSAT services. Now, the satellite actually derives its heritage from ISRO's earlier satellite systems, which was the INSAT GSAT series. Now, the GSAT 30 is to serve as a replacement to the INSAT 4A spacecraft services with enhanced coverage. The satellite provides Indian mainland and islands coverage in the KU band and extended coverage in the C band covering Gulf countries, a large number of Asian countries, and also Australia. Now, the spacecraft would be extensively used for supporting VSAT network, television uplinking and teleport services, digital satellite news gathering, DTH television services, cellular backhaul connectivity, and many such applications. Now, coming and talking about Ariane. Now the Arianespace is the commercial satellite launching organization that was founded in 1980, and as you all know, now we have the world's heaviest, rocket, which is the Ariane 5. Now coming and talking about this one term called Apple. Now the Apple experiment was the first Indian satellite to be launched by Ariane in 1981. Now giving a few more descriptions about Apple. Apple stands for Ariane Passenger Payload Experiment. It is India's first 3-axis stabilized experimental geostationary communication satellite. And this satellite was placed on the 102nd east longitude. Now, the Apple was designed and developed at the ISRO Satellite Center in Bangalore, and the satellite was used for experimentation in television and radio broadcasting. Now, then the program was finally deactivated in September 1983. So, it basically ran for 2 years. Now, coming to the next topic of the day, which is the 8 wonders of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization. Now, this is news because the SCO, which is the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, has included the Statue of Unity among the 8 wonders of the SCO. Now, for the first time, India will host an annual meeting of the Council of Heads of the government of Shanghai Cooperation Organization. Now coming and talking about the 8 wonders of the SCO, in India we have the Statue of Unity. In Kazakhstan there is the archaeological landscape of Tamgali. In China there is the damming Imperial Palace complex. In Kazakhstan there is the Lake Issyk-Kul. In Pakistan there is the Great Mughals heritage at Lahore. In Russia it is the Golden Ring cities. For Tajikistan it is the Palace of Nowruz. Uzbekistan is the Poikalon complex. Now coming and talking about the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, this SCO is a permanent intergovernmental international organization that was created in 2001. It's a Eurasian political, economic and military organization aiming to maintain peace, security and stability in the region. Now the SCO charter was signed in 2002 and entered into force in 2003, and the SCO's official languages are Russian and Chinese. Now, SCO comprises of 8 members. I hope you all know this. It is India, Kazakhstan, China, Kyrgyzstan, Pakistan, Russia, Tajikistan and Uzbekistan. It additionally also has 4 observer states, which is Afghanistan, Belarus, Iran and Mongolia. Now coming to the next topic, which is high flash high speed diesel. Okay, now this is called as high flash high speed diesel IN512. Now this is in news because on 13th of January, a new type of fuel, which is the high flash high speed diesel IN512, was launched with revised technical specifications. Okay, now the revised technical specification of the fuel was arrived at constituting 22 test parameters, which included critical parameters such as cetane number, flash point and cold filter plugging point, etc. Mainly these parameters were checked. Now the new specification will not only ensure a better quality fuel but also result in reduced carbon footprint. Now while looking into this new fuel's basic parameters, the new fuel was finally added for a pan-Navy implementation for the ships. Basically, it was appropriate for Navy's implementation. Now the successful introduction of this new fuel is a landmark occasion highlighting the enormous potential which exists within the country to produce world-class products. Now coming and talking a bit about these parameters, we'll come and talk about the first parameter, which is the cetane number. Now the cetane number is actually a measurement of the quality or performance of the diesel fuel. Now in this case, the higher the number, the better the fuel will burn within the engines of the vehicle. Now understand the cetane number is similar to that of the octane rating. Now the difference is that the octane rating rates gasoline, whereas the cetane number rates the diesel. Okay. Now just as the higher performance gasoline vehicles requires fuel with higher octane rating, higher performance diesel vehicles will require higher cetane rating. Okay. Now coming to the next parameter, which is flash point. Now basically to ignite the fuel, the fuel must have a low flash point, but in order to avoid pre-ignition caused by residual heat in a hot combustion chamber, the fuel must also have a high auto ignition temperature. Now diesel fuel flash points may vary between 52 degrees Celsius to 96 degrees Celsius. So this is what flash point actually talks about. Now the cold filter plugging point is actually the lowest temperature expressed in degrees Celsius at which a given volume of diesel type of fuel will still pass through standardized filters of a device in a specified time when it is cooled under certain conditions. Okay, so that's all for that. Now coming to the next topic, which is the shopper malware. Now this is a new type of Trojan which is called the shopper malware, and it is increasing its presence among smartphone users. Now this malware is now focusing on retail application, and the malware is capable of reading data being entered on the screen. Now as a Trojan gains permission, it interacts with the system interfaces and captures every data being featured in the screen. So we should be careful about this new type of shopper malware. Now coming to the next one, which is the Australian koalas. Now the Australian koalas is actually a herbivorous animal that are native to Australia. They are found in the coastal areas of New South Wales, Queensland, Victoria and South Australia. Now the Australian government has announced that it could declare koalas as an endangered species after their population suffered significantly in the bushfire crisis which is currently going on in Australia. So that's all for today. If you have any doubts or queries, you can write down in the comment section below. For additional information, you can please log into our current affairs website, which is www.neoiscap.com. So thank you and good night.
Like, share and subscribe to our channel for more videos. Follow our website neoiasgap.com for the detailed content and monthly prelims digest. Also join our current affairs exclusive test series through the website. And finally, participate in the daily current affairs prelims infotainment quiz at our Telegram channel, that is Neo IAS Prelims, at 9:30 p.m. every day. Thank you.